Welcome to the test server number 2.5 point something something something, where we're testing what looks to be a pulse weapon. I call it a pulse bomb because it essentially is a bomb, and I'm running essentially builds that have They have a medium version, a heavy version, and a light version. And you have to be aware that this test server is testing very early prototype concept weapons. I mean, they may and they probably will never hit the game itself, at least not in the aspect which we see them in this test server. So we're really getting a chance to play in the sand a little bit with these concepts and see how they fly in a simulated game environment. But the test server really isn't very similar to the live server because everyone seems to be running the same weapons. In the live server you would have very different bots and weapon loadouts, different weapon levels, and so on and so forth. So this test server, even though we're testing these concepts, it really isn't a very good approximation to what would happen in a live server. So you have to bear that in mind. You see it in the game. Everyone's running these pulse bombs, and it pretty much wouldn't look like this in a real game. But in any case, I don't think developers would release all three of these. They would probably choose one type of hard point and just build it for that particular hard point. And my preference after running this thing would be that they choose the heavy version of this weapon, simply because there are fewer robots that have heavy hard points, and so it limits the option as to what robots can carry this weapon. Now, what I determined was that with this weapon, because you need to be within 100 meters to do any damage at all, and anything within 100 meters radius takes damage in this weapon. Any red that gets within 100 meters will be damaged. So it's not targeting any single bot. It's you go somewhere and it's like detonating a bomb. Anything within 100 meters takes damage. You can be behind a building, you can be structures. Nothing blocks this. Nothing. No shields block it. No. It's essentially 100 meters. Everything in that radius takes damage. So. This is just one of the games I played. I played quite a few testing this weapon, and this just happens to be the one I recorded. And you can see those pulses going off already. See those spheres or those domes that pop off. Now, what I determined was, here we go. I'm in range. Bang! There goes mine. What I determined was that you need a delivery vehicle for this because you've got to get close, and this regatta has just jumped away, so now I have to try and get within 100 meters again, and it knows that I'm trying to do that, so it's moving away from me. And this is the only defense against this weapon, is to stay out of range. There's no other defense against it. These medium weapons do 15,000 damage every pulse, so I've got two. It's 30,000 per pulse. Now I'm chasing him down, and I'm not sure when I get in range. As soon as it goes less than 100, pulse should be now there. He's gone. Yeah, so as a delivery vehicle, these Lancelots with Ansiles are very tough robots. They're very hard to take down. They've got two shields. They've got the physical shield and the Ansile shield. So they're pretty much real tanks, and plus their rush ability, you can close the distance and drop these bombs. So that's why I'm running three of those in this game. The other one that I think is a good candidate is the Carnage, and as I said, I think as a heavy armament, it would make the Carnage essentially the same sort of gameplay as a Carnage with Thunders. You have to try and sneak up to your victims because you've got this awesome high-speed rush ability with the Carnage. You don't have to get that close, and then as soon as you see your prey, you can just push the rush, and nothing can get away from you. The Carnage, when it's running, is the fastest bot in the game, as fast as a Stalker. And yeah, just one pulse of these, they're 20,000 damage each. That's 40,000 per pulse. So this thing is dropping quite a bomb per pulse. Every 5 seconds, you can get 40,000 damage. So there goes. I've just taken out 2 bots with that device now. Again, I'm trying to sneak around. I have to watch out for this Fury just destroyed. So he doesn't get pulse. Bang. Fujin's getting pulse though. So now I'm just looking for targets. And okay, now this is a problem because this guy's he can do 2 heavies in, so that's 80,000 damage in a few seconds. So that was a butch, so that has detonated 4 of those heavy weapons in very quick successions. That's 80,000 damage. And poor Carnage really can't handle that. But I don't think the Butch is a great delivery vehicle. It's like a huge bomb, but it's a very slow bot, so to actually get towards it, get to the target, would be a bit of a struggle because it's got no other weapons, no other defenses, and it's a slow-moving bot. It would just get shot out of the game. But the Carnage, on the other hand, yeah, I could see the way this weapon operates at the moment. People running squads of Carnages and just attacking en masse, and I think I take him before he gets me. Yes, the Hanslock. Yeah, I can see people attacking en masse, like they used to attack in squads of stalkers. They would have squads of Carnages. They would just all race to the other spawn point and then detonate their bombs, and they could do over 200,000 damage to anything within the 100-meter radius. So every single bot in that radius would just die in one blink. That would be pretty lethal. And that's the sort of gameplay you have to be very wary of. People will look for the exploit. They'll try and figure out the weapon, and they'll try and find the best way of using it. And we've seen it before with Jeopards. We've seen it with stalkers. People will run these things in swarms, and these bomb weapons, I think, would be fantastic. You just jump into Carnage. You basically hide until your prey's in sight, and then you just rush them, and bang, and 2 or 3 Carnages. That's doing a hell of a lot of damage. It's 120 points per shot. And you can see the damage. I mean, it's a bit of a pointless weapon too. It really is just like a bomb. You're like just like a bomber. You're planting some bomb. You're not actually targeting any bot. You're just making sure that something is in your 100-meter range, and then you just push the red button. So it's a bit of a mindless weapon too. But I think it's an interesting weapon. It's a hell of an interesting design idea. And the question is, what can you do to make it work in the game? Because you don't want the exploits. You don't want the exploits killing the game. You don't want everyone just running these and just rushing towards each other and blowing up like crazy suicide bombers. You really want to make sure that this doesn't adversely affect the game and people don't figure out some exploit like I was talking about with just running Carnages with these things on top and blowing yourself up. So I really don't know what the best solution for that is. I mean, and because the weapon is so unique, and because there is really no protection against it apart from just staying away from the 100-meter radius, it really does require a lot of very careful thought about the real effect of this weapon on the game. Okay, you can see in this game where we're losing pretty badly in beacons. We've lost all our beacons, and I'm trying to salvage the game, but actually, because it's a test server, it's more about just blowing things up. It's not really about winning the game. I mean, we're not in a situation where you really should worry about winning a game. You just want to be in there messing it up with with the other bots and trying to see what you can do, what sort of damage you can do, what sort of situations you can create with this new weapon. And as you can see, it's been quite successful. It's taking out a lot of bots with it. And bang, I think I get him just before the game ends. So, I hope you enjoyed that. It's an interesting, strange new weapon, and until the next time, see you later.